I don't know if I like that countdown or not.
I mean, you didn't choose the music, did you?
No, it was in there, but it's okay. We're live now. So, dude, thanks for coming.
What's up, man?
Good to say. Good to have you.
Good to see you again. I was just with you today.
I know.
Yeah, we hung out.
We were hanging out earlier. So, it's for everyone. I am Braden Hatch, of course, and I have Eric Stahl with me today.
Hello.
Eric, tell him who you are. Who are you?
I am 6'1". I am single.
Ooh, okay.
32 years young. I am a content creator, freelance videographer, and photographer.
Absolutely. You are my video editor.
I am your video guy.
Sometimes videographer.
So anyone who watches any of his YouTube or anything that looks good on his page
is this guy.
Was probably me.
So that's true. I get the question a lot, like, why is your shit so cool? Or how do I get that? It's you. So I just passed this guy's information along. So we'll get his info out to anyone who needs it or wants it. But yeah, so that I'm excited, man, because like I know we've talked about it. You've been doing the video thing for how many years now? Like
it's been a minute. So I originally started with radio and then gradually, I almost said graduated, gradually went into video.
Okay.
And I bought my first camera in 2016, 17.
Okay.
And then just taught it myself.
Self-taught.
All YouTube.
Yeah.
100% YouTube. And then also bought online courses, like one or two of them, just to kind of a better crash course instead of, because it was really hard just finding what was resonating on YouTube because there's so many different things.
So many videos. From. Yeah.
But all self-taught and
That's
then
cool,
just throwing it out there and doing my own stuff, doing it. It's called spec work. So just something I liked. I just did it myself, my own way, and then just put it on social media and started getting word out there.
That's so cool, dude. Cause it's hard. Like, so I know, like, I think anyone that's in any sort of sales industry or industry where it's sales or marketing, you have to be doing video, you have to be doing editing. Like it's something that is talked about more and more. But like for someone like me, I remember like I was doing videos, but mostly just the selfie style, talking in front of them. But when I was looking to do more editing type stuff, I bought some sort of software. I messed around on the MacBook, trying their different things, and it's fucking hard. Like it's difficult. Like there is so much that goes into editing a video. And like, I remember I spent probably like 4 hours taking some cell phone footage, like trying to make it look good with transitions and stuff. And by the time it came out like itty bitty small, like it was all off and it was just terrible. And so thank God for people like you, because it's hard, man. Like it's difficult work.
I really appreciate you saying that because people are watching reels and TikTok.
Yeah.
And they're just scrolling through it and they're just seeing endless after endless bit of content. And someone made a skit with their cell phones and they just think, oh, it's really not that hard because it just looks like they just filmed it with their cell phone. Yes, they did, but didn't take them 5 seconds to make that.
Correct. Yeah. It's the 5 seconds or 10 seconds you're watching it was a lot of work on the back end.
Yes. So. Yes. And that's the hard part, because when I work with clients and I film something for them, I get that they're excited and they want it like right there.
Right.
I was like,
this is America. I want it now.
I need a couple weeks, man. It's because, well, first off, it's going to take a second because I need to go through everything I just filmed and find the best stuff.
Yeah.
Clean it up, find music for you, everything that you need. And I lost the second thing. It's not just you. I filmed somebody yesterday and the day before and things like that. Like you
were filming right before you got here.
I was, yes. I'm a little bit late. That is my fault.
It's okay.
I was in Scottsdale.
We made it.
And that's the other cool part about my job, because I do work with you. You work loan officers, realtors. I do stuff like that. But I just came from a private gym and filmed a boxing coach.
That's awesome.
Doing self-defense.
Okay. So let's talk about, I want to hear a little bit more about, you said you were in radio. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us kind of your transition from radio, the job that you were working day to day just to have a paycheck, and then what that triggering moment was to step away from that and decide to do your own thing full time. So while you do that, I'm going to make a cocktail.
So actually, I think when it's a great way to start is because when I started my journey in radio, I met you.
Oh, that's true. That's right. Yeah,
we were friends before I ever worked for him.
Yeah,
And
we met through like a mutual buddy at a house party. It was like a Halloween party or
it
no?
could have been a Halloween party, but he lived
It
down the
was just
street from me.
it was a
We
party.
had a mutual friend. You worked with him at the bank. I went to high school with him.
That's right. Yeah, we met through Raciel.
Hacia.
That's right.
No, I never said that.
mutual buddy.
He always introduced himself as Giselle.
Right?
Yes.
Or Jonathan. He's got many names.
That was a weird one. Every time it was his when you worked at Wells Fargo, right? So
That's
his
right,
Wells
yep.
Fargo buddies always called him Jonathan. I go, who's Jonathan?
Who's that?
Wait, you keep looking at Giselle, but you keep saying Jonathan. Are you guys sure you know who he is?
Is it the same guy? Yeah.
But I was starting college when I met you.
Okay.
And before that, though, I went to in high school. They had this program at my high school. It was a second tech school called EVIT.
Okay.
And in EVIT, you went there half the day. So instead of taking electives, you went to this school, and it focused on traits that you were interested in. So it had mechanics, firefighting, cosmetology, massage therapy. Like if you were in high school and interested in that kind of profession, it gave you a hands-on experience.
So more like trade style work.
That's the word I was looking for. And they had a radio broadcasting program that I tried.
Okay.
And loved it so much that my instructor asked me to come back and be his assistant for the summer schools, for just the kids that were it was gonna be like a 2-week crash course, see if they're interested in it at all. I love these ice cubes, by the way. Can we see these? Insanely clear. Are you still using that giant box?
Yes. So it's people always ask me how I get these giant clear ice cubes.
They're so cool.
The company that makes the kit that I have actually doesn't exist anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But the only way to get super clear ice is directional freezing. It has nothing to do with the water temperature, how fast you're freezing it. You have to have a big old thing that's insulated, almost like a mini cooler.
Yeah.
And then as ice freezes, that top layer is going to be crystal clear. The bottom's going to be cloudy. So that's how you get crystal clear ice for anybody who cares.
It's a big process.
But it's cool. Yeah. I mean, they look awesome. It's worth it.
You would think it's ice. So easy.
Right.
It's just a cell phone. So easy.
Just like editing.
Yeah, just like editing. So, well, my experience in that comes later because where was it? So, learned it in high school. Just lost my train of thought again. Jeez. I can't. You're mesmerizing. You're mesmerizing me with your ice. Like I can't stop watching it
with the cocktail. So all right. So
I like the stirring and also I've had a long day. So and I asked for bourbon. So this is going to be fantastic.
This is a bourbon cocktail. So you were in high school. You're studying the EVIT program. You got into the radio broadcasting.
Yes, and then
they got you on an actual radio station, right? Or was that something that was an internship?
So what happened was that wasn't until later because I went to ASU. I went to the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Okay,
and I went there because my instructor said there is no college degree for someone that wants to be on radio. The closest thing you can do is be a journalist and go to the journalism school. And ironically, I live down the street from the best school in the country for journalism.
How about that?
So I said, cool, I'll just do that, I guess. I never wanted to be a journalist. I always tell people where I come from, and they look at me all mesmerized. I go, I had no intentions of being a journalist. And then there's like a mopiness in their eyes after like, no, it was like, I was not interested whatsoever.
Journalism, not your jam, huh?
Not the thing. And the school and the classes I did, I'm not a fan. I have my own opinions when it comes to news and things like that, and college in itself, especially because I didn't go for what I went for. Does that make sense?
No, of course. I think a lot of people do that. Like you go to school, you have this idea, especially when you're young, right? You're in high school, you're trying to figure it out.
You're a little confused.
And it's like, is this what I want? And then you might, spend a week or two or a month or a year doing it and realize you hate it, right? And that's how we end up switching things around. So I think that's a very common thing. You go to school for one thing and end up doing something else. Like
the one thing that did benefit me was I did take a videography class.
Okay.
So I never had experience with video. Is this it?
That's your cocktail, my man.
Pause
for effect here. So real quick, let me explain the cocktail because I know this guy asked for a whiskey one. I actually just made this drink for the first time the other day.
Oh, it's good.
So it's kind of it's a play on old fashioned, right? Old fashions are
I love old fashioned.
Pretty standard. So this
favorite.
This one has Irish whiskey in it though, which is a fantastic one. It's 12-year-old Redbreast, which is one of my favorite Irish whiskeys. Perfect for the redheaded man over here.
Thank you.
And then what works surprisingly well with Irish whiskey is honey. So it's got a honey liqueur.
That's what I'm tasting.
A little bit of honey liqueur, a little bit of apple brandy, and then we've got some Peychaud's bitters, and then I actually rinsed the glass with a little bit of absinthe. So, yeah. So there you go, my man. Cheers.
Oh, cheers, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now it's a happy hour.
Oh, I'm happy now.
Right. So all right. So you're going to school. You took a photography class. No, videography class.
It was videography. I did take photography in high school. And that's where I learned that I enjoyed using a camera. It's very tasty.
Man, that's good.
Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Recipe, please. Yes.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll post the recipe.
But I did have experience with cameras. That's how I knew I was kind of into them, because I took photography in high school. But I'm 32. So when I was in high school, a digital camera, a DSLR camera, like what you're recording on right now.
Right.
The mere thought of owning one of those was out of the question. Outrageously expensive. Mm-hmm. So it was all film. What I learned my camera on was film. I absolutely hate film. It was the word. I loved learning how to use a camera and using a camera. Yeah. But I hated film.
The film itself.
Using film. Developing film.
Oh yeah. Film. I was like, what are we talking about? The actual, like,
a film camera. Yes.
Where you go in the dark room with the red lights and you have to put it in the liquid. Oh my god.
I absolutely hated that because
it's terrible. Yeah.
It never came out like I wanted. Or I take a few photos and I'm like, I think they look good.
Or somebody accidentally turns on the lights and screws the whole thing up.
Yes. Or you're too busy making out with all the girls in the dark room.
That too. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That happened a lot.
That's why you really joined photography.
That's what a lot of people think. Mm-hmm. So we can talk about that later. Yes.
It's a whole nother story.
But I did take a videography class in college. Ended up being pretty good at it because it was interesting. And my professor actually wanted me to go intern. Like, he was giving me a letter of recommendation to like TV stations like AZ, like Channel 13, AZ TV, news stations, things like that.
Okay.
To like intern for them, like have that as an like. But at the time I was like, nah, I want to work in radio. That's where the fun is. Like, my idol was John Holmberg from KUPD.
Yeah, the Morning Sickness.
That was my dude. Every morning, because I used to take the if you live in Arizona, if you have ever been on the 60 and you see the giant ASU tour buses, the Greyhound buses, I was on those every morning. That's how I got to school, because I was on the East Coast. I was in East Mesa, right? So I parked in Polytech, which is on this side of town.
Polytech's campus, that's right.
And then I drove to the main campus, and then I had to get off that bus on main campus and get on a second bus that took me to downtown Phoenix, which is where the school is.
Right.
And every morning I listen to Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
Yeah, that's right.
Every morning. It psyched me up though. It made me remember why I'm going to school, because I hated my classes. But I was like, once I graduate, I'm gonna do this.
So you wanted to do what he was doing, be a radio personality on like a morning show.
Yes.
That was the goal.
Morning show, afternoon, I didn't care. It's just my initial love for radio was these people are jamming out, hanging out in the studio, having fun. They come up with weird shit.
They're just talking shit and listening to music. Like,
yes,
it's basically what we're doing right now, except we're drinking and talking.
Absolutely,
shit, so.
Yes. And
not as many people are listening to this
at the moment. For now,
but
still fun. But I'm assuming a lot of you are enjoying this right now.
Yeah, it should be a good time. It'd be a good time.
But yes, long story short with that, didn't work out.
Okay.
But I did intern. On my last semester, I did intern at a radio station.
Okay.
So I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Did you actually get some radio time and get to talk on
so
air
I was on, I don't know if you remember this, 93.3.
I do remember.
Rocks, Arizona. KDKB Rocks, Arizona. And I was on Mornings with Schmonty.
Schmonty, that's right. That's right. And you had a handle too, right? Wasn't
I was E-Rock.
E-Rock, that's right. I thought about putting that on the thing, but
I love and hate that nickname. I've had it since high school. Back, it came out from MySpace.
Oh shit!
Everyone needed an avatar. Everyone had an avatar and a nickname on MySpace, and I used to have buddies call me Air Rock, and I was like, I hate that. But then on Zoolander, you remember the movie Zoolander?
Of course, yeah.
Owen Wilson always called Ben Stiller D-Rock because his name was Derek, and I was like,
that's right.
I'll keep that.
Great movie.
That's how it started. And that's where the name came from. And
E-Rock.
I would say older friends of mine still call me that.
That's
but I
cool.
always introduce myself as Eric. But if
Yeah.
they go, "Are you E-Rock?" I'm like, sure.
Sure. Yeah, we can go with that
Yes.
today.
Yes. And actually, before I interned at KDKB, I interviewed at KUPD with Holmberg.
Right. I remember you told me that story.
Did I tell you that
Yeah,
story? And
but
I was with the,
tell
I
the
was
world.
well, I was with the whole team.
Yeah.
So because there's 3 hosts. At the time there was 3 hosts on KUPD, and they all interviewed me. They were super cool. It's just some of the questions I was like, I have a feeling that they're not looking for an intern right now, just
Sure.
because of the stuff they were asking.
It's like
me.
how like the interview questions
Yes.
themselves.
But Creepy E, one of the hosts,
Mhm.
remembered me because back when I was in
Nice.
high school, I made a tradition of every Friday I went to KUPD studios
Oh,
and
no way.
applied and filled out an application.
You went every weekend?
Oh, every Friday.
Every Friday. Dude,
Every
that's
Friday.
legit. That's
I was
persistence
because
right
I
there.
never got a call back, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be heard because
Yeah.
I want this job.
I'm gonna keep
I
applying.
don't care what I'm gonna
Hell
do.
yeah. That's what it's all
And-
about.
So Creepy, he was one of the hosts. He's not there
Mhm.
anymore. Remembered me because he also followed me on Facebook.
Nice.
So he goes, "Are you E-Rock from Facebook?" I go, "Yeah,
Yeah, that's me. I'm the guy that applies every Friday.
yeah."
So what's up?
So my last semester of college, I did it on purpose, where my last semester of college before I graduated was nothing but this internship.
Okay.
And I full-heartedly was dedicated to this internship. I wanted it. I wanted it to feel like I was on a radio station, so I knew what it was like.
Okay.
Loved it. Learned so much. Met celebrities. It was super cool.
That's cool.
Like cool celebrities, like ones that I like.
Nice. Name one. Can you name drop
Jim
someone?
Jeffries.
Jim Jeffrey. Okay. Cool.
The guy that the director of the new Evil Dead, because the newer version of Evil Dead came out while I was on that station.
Okay.
And I got to meet him.
That's cool.
Chris D'Elia before he was Chris D'Elia. Ari Shaffir before he's Ari Shaffir. Like if you're a comedy fan, I met so many comedians because every Friday they came in to promote that they're at stand up, and then I got free tickets and I would go.
Oh, that's
and
badass.
so I got to go every Friday.
Yeah.
Every Friday night I would go.
That's cool.
It was a lot of fun. But after I graduated, I was still I've been working the entire time I was going to school.
Right.
I worked
jobs.
I worked at a Goodwill
Mhm.
part-time while I was in college. And then after I graduated, I stayed there for a little bit. Wasn't finding anything. Wasn't sure where I was going to go because I'm like, because it's really hard to get on a radio station.
I've heard that.
It's very limited.
And you kind of have to know people, right? Like you have to have the right connections. It's
very much
it's
you have
like
to know
with
people.
Hollywood, like you have to be somebody's son or daughter or cousin or whatever.
You just have to know people. Like someone that's already in it. They hear your name and someone goes, "You heard of him?" If you get a thumbs up, all right, give him a chance.
There you go.
Your work experience doesn't really. It's such a catch-22,
right?
Because they go, well, how much experience do you have? I have none. I just graduated from college.
Right.
But then also they got other people like, oh, you know so and so, we'll give you a chance. It's kind of a cutthroat thing.
No, it is. I feel like that happens a lot with people that go straight from high school to college that don't work in between, like, and then they apply for their dream job and it's like, oh well, you have no experience, bro. It's like, no shit, I've been in college this whole time. So we see a lot of that, and I think that's kind of what's like, there's a lot of people like our generation and that is now understanding that college isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Like, college is important for some people. Like, I'm not knocking it. It wasn't for me. I didn't have any. Like, I don't have a college degree to do what I do now. I went to college and I just hated it. And so I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I studied finance. Myself. Yeah. And so I went straight into the workforce and just went and got my experience. And I think there's a lot of value that goes along with that. I think you can learn some cool things in college, but experience trumps that all day.
Yes.
So, and that is like, I think more and more people are realizing that now.
Well, that's also a big reason why I wanted to do just my internship on its own. Because there was a couple other interns there, but they were still going to school, and I was like, no, dude, I didn't want to do any of that at all because I stressed so much just trying to pass these classes to graduate.
Right.
It would have distracted me,
which is so stupid
from the
itself.
experience.
Yeah, it's like if you're doing it just to pass to get on to the next thing, then what's the point? Like, you're not actually learning anything.
No.
And you're paying to be there in most cases. It's crazy.
Yes. Well, I remember they were trying to tell me like, oh, you need to do these do these classes called related areas. And I go, I have no idea what that means.
Or the generals.
Do you know what I'm
or,
talking about?
Yeah,
like I don't know what that means.
just the
And
bullshit
they go,
classes,
and they go,
so
oh,
you can have enough
well, they go,
credits to get a degree or whatever.
I was like, and like the way they were saying, like, oh, it's just these extra classes.
Yeah.
Like you can learn, like it's something outside of your degree. Like if you want to do history or something, I don't want to do any of that. I'm good. I don't have to.
You're like, why,
I don't have
why
to.
Would
They
I
go,
want that?
well, it's just the way they were like promoting it as if like trying to psych you up to do it. And I go,
Yeah.
no, I'm okay. I don't want to do that. And they go, no.
You don't want to take underwater basket weaving?
You, yeah. Well, it's like, well, and then they said you have to do this.
Oh Jesus!
I go, wait, what? You have to do this in order to graduate.
Yeah.
It's like in electives, you just have to do it. And I go,
forced to do it if you want to graduate.
Well, then after, and I go, well, all right, well, what can I do? And then so I did film.
Okay.
I did film with that. Almost, long story short, with that, I almost failed college. I almost flunked out of college because of these classes that meant nothing to me.
Yeah, the extra ones that you didn't care about.
Yes.
Fair enough.
But it was all, I just learned it was all a ploy because they said, well, if you take 2 more courses, it could become a minor.
Oh God.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters. Like when like I have conversations with the people every day, small business owners, W-2 employees. Never once has their minor come into question, or can we see your college degree so that you can get this home loan? Like, at least in my profession, like none of that really matters. So
to this day,
college is wild.
To this day, no one's ever asked me about if I've gone to college. They just in conversation, and I tell them, oh, cool, moving on.
Correct.
It's
not
never
a deal breaker
for me,
exactly.
Especially with what I do now.
Right.
You would think.
All right. So we get into college, you're learning things that you like, and then what happens next?
So I graduated. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my degree. I still want to work in radio. Where am I going to go?
Radio's the dream.
Radio is the dream. But I was like, but I've already had a discussion with all the radio stations. Like I applied to all of them. Like we're just not really looking for anybody right now.
So you're aggressively applying to the radio stations you want to work at, but it's just not anything out, nothing available at the time.
And then, also in the back of my head, I learned in my internship, there really is no money into it. You be in the advertisement department in order to get some real money.
Right.
You also don't start like where I was in the internship, because I was on the radio. I was on the morning show. I had my own microphone. I had my own segment for the news and stuff like that. Like I had a voice on the morning show. Basically, they're telling me, yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's going to take a minute for you to get there, though. Yeah. You got to start from the bottom. Yeah. And then you work your way. And then because one of the guys there, he's in promotions, head of promotions, been there for 6 years. And he said, they finally put me on the air. I go, really? Where? Like, I've never heard you on the air before. And he goes, what do you say? Weekends at 4 a.m.
Oh, God. Oh, that's why I've never heard you.
Yeah. I was like, and you've been with the station how long? And they finally gave you a chance. Like, man. Yeah, it takes some time. Like, yeah, that's eating in the back of my head. I'm still working at Goodwill at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, no one's hiring. I'm contemplating maybe I could go to another state. I don't know what I want to do. So I'm still working at this Goodwill.
Yeah.
But Goodwill was starting to piss me off. So I just looked for another job. I started working at a Sam's Club. I'm a cart boy now. Yeah. I'm collecting shopping carts. I'm 23, college graduate, collecting shopping carts for part-time. Just don't know what I'm doing with myself. Still living at home.
Yeah.
And I remember vividly when I said, I don't want to do radio anymore. Yeah. It just clicked. I was
like, this isn't for me.
I was helping out the gas station attendant. He went on break, and you just sitting there and you just watch people pump gas.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm listening to homework.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh yeah, good times. But literally, he was doing this skit, and it didn't hit like it used to.
Sure.
I was just
you've lived the behind the scenes, and you were like,
I'm just like, yeah, I know what they're doing. I know what's going on behind, like when they're at commercial, when the mics are not on, I know what they're doing. I know what they're planning. I know what's going on right now.
And you didn't want to be a part of that.
I was just like, oh my God,
this isn't for me. Like, I don't want this.
Not my thing.
That's honestly, I mean, it's kind of cool though to realize that early on, because I think some people pursue their dream for a really, really long time, and then, like you said, it could take years to get there, and then you finally get it and realize you hate it. Like that's got to suck to realize you've spent so many years trying for something, and then you get it and realize you don't like it. So,
especially with something like that, because I hear all the time, just try it, and if it doesn't work out, go do something else. Like, but I invested since high school, since I was 17 years old, I wanted to do this.
It's a lot of years.
Yeah.
So, well, So yeah, I mean, a little bit of, mixed feelings. I'm sure it's like, yeah, this is what I thought I wanted to do, but now it's not. So now you're in this moment of, what am I doing with my life?
Yep.
You probably don't want to be a cart boy at Sam's Club
So,
forever.
so I'll just say I went into limbo for about a year or so.
Okay.
I was only there for 8 months, maybe.
Okay.
And then I started dating one of the cashiers. Her dad worked at a furniture store that's really big out here right now.
Okay.
And they were looking for people, and they needed salespeople. I go, I don't do sales. I have no idea. I have no idea how to do sales. I've always been labor. I worked at a Goodwill in the back.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I've ever done.
You've been a behind the scenes guy.
I've always been, pick this up, put it over there.
Yeah.
All right, easy enough.
Cool.
And so, long story short, with that, I was at that company for 6 years.
Right.
But I only did sales for about 3 months, but
then you were stockroom.
So I'm not good at sales, but I'm really good at relationships. I'm really good at making myself heard. Again, like I went and applied at a radio station every single Friday.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm
tenacity. You've got that grit. Hard
work. So the manager learned my name within a week. He knew me on a first name basis.
Okay.
And basically said, all right, fine, put him in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And I was there for 6 years. Got offered promotions, just didn't want it.
Sure.
But then as I was doing it, I go, I can't do this anymore. Like what can I do to get out of here? Yeah. What do I like? Well, radio's gone.
Well, during that 6 years, you were still like playing with video and doing photography kind of on the side, right? You were kind of always doing it.
I guess it's
kind of.
So like I said, when I did it in high school, I enjoyed it.
Right.
So now we got fast forward to now. We got cell phones that can take photos,
right?
And I can play with them on my cell phone.
Yeah.
So I was just doing that for fun. I was
just toying around with video and.
But it wasn't. It never clicked in my head.
Okay.
To like, ooh, I should do this.
I could make a career out of this.
Yes. Yeah. So I can't remember when I finally said I want to buy a camera and do it.
Okay.
But I just remember because my Amazon history says I bought my camera in like 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank God for Amazon. We can track everything.
But I remember telling myself though, you did really well in videography because it was in video when I did that class. It was supposed to be like a reporter thing, like a journalist thing.
Yeah.
So like kind of boring, to be honest with you.
Right.
And I always made it very interesting. And he goes, these are really clever.
Yeah.
But they can never go on news, so I have to drop your grade.
Oh shit. Oh man, they're stifling your creativity.
Well, with the grades, but then he was also the one that gave me that was trying to get me to go work for radio station or work for TV stations because he really liked what I was doing. He saw that I was being creative and I was having fun with it. I wasn't just doing it.
You have such a cool eye with stuff. I mean, that's one of the reasons. Like I remember when you were still kind of toying with it, like it was right after I built this place. So the basement was empty. This wasn't here. I remember you used the walls.
Yes. Well, we could talk about like when first, because you and your wife were some of my first clients. You were the ones that were like, let's get him in here. And because I want to practice with my camera. Right. Practice with us.
We just practice. Yeah. We're like, come on, dude. Like, let's play around with it. So I remember like there was you were toying with it. We did a photo shoot in the big, empty room before I built it out to a gym. There was like a music video.
I made a music video in this room. This was not.
Yeah, this wasn't yours before we built the bar.
Yeah, there was just a.
This was nothing. It was just.
It was a already built buy at the furniture store bar.
Yeah, it was,
and then
like a cheap little.
There was and then there was a couch in here.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah,
that was it.
I built the house. I was broke. I spent all the money on the house. I didn't have any money for furniture. So.
But I was like, this. I looked at it. I was like, empty room, studio.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use this for stuff as long as you lend it to me.
Yeah, you're like, is it cool if I use it? I'm like, yeah, go for it.
I took headshots of someone in the other room. I took your headshots in that room.
Yeah, you took my headshots in there.
But like when it was empty, because now it's a weight room.
Right.
But it was an empty ass room.
Empty. Yeah, there's nothing in there.
So I was like, it's perfect white.
Right.
So I just tossed light. I tossed colors onto your wall, and I said, here's my backdrop.
There we go. And then when I built the actual bar, I was like, dude, you want to come over and just like film the bar, just make a fun promo? Because like I didn't really, this is just for me. I did not foresee this podcast or any of the stuff that we're doing now.
No.
So I remember, and the video that you threw together was so badass. Like I still show it to people on Instagram. I'm like, check this out. Like it's so fun because you weren't, it wasn't for money. It was just like for fun. Like you were just putting shit together.
I was doing a lot of practice. I just bought my current camera. My current camera I use right now, I just bought. And you're like, dude, come over and practice with it.
Practice. Let's have fun.
You've always been
Let's
encouraged.
have some drinks.
Yes.
Good shit happens over happy hour, guys.
At the HatchMan bar.
That's right. Yeah. At the HatchMan bar.
You have always been very supportive of me. Like always like I want to try something. And you're always like, dude, the house is open. Yeah. I'm always available. The wife is always available. Whatever you need.
Yep. No, I'm an action taker, man. Like, you're talented, and anytime people have ideas, I love to just help them put that stuff in motion. And so it's been cool to kind of see that progression, and it's been interesting, like just in the last few years, to see like your practicing has now turned into something you do full time.
Yes.
Like, to the point where you got to quit the warehouse job. So
eventually,
yes. Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about, because I think a lot of people are in that scenario right now. Like I attended like a sales conference. It was like a motivational conference back in January. And there was a handful of entrepreneurs that, and a lot of them in videography and in similar situations. And they're all like, oh, well, yeah, I'm doing this and it's starting to catch, but I can't let go of my job. Like I still have my 9 to 5. I need that security. I need my paycheck. I need my benefits. Like it's scary to jump from something that is secure, because you're getting a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks or whatever it is, that's guaranteed as long as you show up for work, to all of a sudden not doing that and relying solely on your talents to bring money in.
Yep.
That's scary. Like I don't have that exact, I didn't go that route. I went from a manager job, which was a guaranteed salary, to a commission-based job, which is similar, but it's not the same as what you did. What you did is takes a lot of balls.
I went from 9 to 5, $500 a week.
Yeah.
To I'm gonna see what I can do on my own.
Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what happened, like what were you doing and what really made you make that jump.
So at the time, like I said, I worked at this furniture store for 6 years. I was at the furniture store. I went to different departments. At the time I was in staging. Okay. So I'm opening furniture, building it, putting it out to the show floor, making it pretty for the customers.
Yeah, making the customers look like it's something that they want to buy.
That schedule, though, Monday through Friday, cool.
Yeah.
5 a.m. to 1:30, not cool.
Ugh,
not fun.
That's a rough schedule.
Forcing myself to wake up at about 4 o'clock every day to get to this job, and it wasn't
especially when you're single and trying to have a social life.
And it wasn't the worst job. I'll put it there.
Sure,
it wasn't really the worst job, but it's a 9 to 5. So
you're not excited when you wake up every morning. I get to go stage furniture today. Like it's
not excited, but also sometimes my end of the job can be done pretty soon.
Right.
So I look like a bad employee because I'm just standing around. But I'm already done.
Yeah, I did my job faster than it's planned on.
It's the I can't think of the word. Just like even if you're not busy, act busy, because you're on a 9 to 5. You're here from this time to this time. You better be working.
Right.
And that mentally drains you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was really hard for me.
Well, it mentally drains you when it's not something you care about or are passionate about. Like if you're just going through the motions, I feel like you can only do that for so long before you just hit your limit. Like I'm done with this.
And that did happen for me, because I was learning my camera, just taking photos, putting it on Instagram, and then I was getting a few people like, hey, I want some portraits here. I've always wanted my photo taken. Well, like a really nice photo of me. Like, cool, I'll do it for you.
Sure.
And then coworkers were getting interested.
Okay.
I had a couple coworkers that started a nutrition company. They started selling shirts. They started they're trying to build a team and things like that. Sure. And they hey, I heard you do camera work, and one of them is a big time manager at this place too. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I dabble, and they wanted some content.
Yeah.
Cool. And to this day, I still do stuff for them.
Oh, that's awesome.
But from there, it turned into who you know.
Right.
I started meeting people, like just getting out there and just saying yes to everything.
Well, it's the same work that you put in when you were trying to get that radio job. Now you're just meeting other people that need photography and videography needs, and you're just getting in front of them and letting them know. And I will say this: you're always way too humble about this stuff. You're just like, oh, I guess I could do it. Like, no, you're good at this shit, man. Like, you need to let people know like what your talents are. And I think more people are seeing it now. But in the beginning, I remember you were still kind of like hesitant about like, well, I'm not a professional. I'm not this.
I'm not.
But
so
you're good though. You're talented, and that like I think talent, like it's the difference between a college education and doesn't matter if you have a degree.
Mm-hmm.
No, you got skills, bro.
Hey, do you remember the time when we actually like met back up with each other? It was very random because we were seeing each other almost a couple times a month because at Giselle's house.
Back when I worked for the, bank.
We're always hanging out on the weekends, and we really hit it off.
Right.
I really liked you. Like it was a lot. Like it was one of those like brains here. I got someone I can latch onto and party with.
You just chill.
But then after we stopped doing that, like the parties kind of went away. We just kind of drifted. It wasn't anything bad.
No, for sure. I got married, had kids, and it's life.
Yes. But then I went to it was at TC's.
That's right.
At the St. Patrick's Day party.
Where I ran into you.
I was just with some friends and I ran into you, and then we just started
God.
talking, and that's when I learned you became a loan officer.
Dude, I totally forgot about that.
You just started at Loan Depot.
Yeah, I had. And it was like my first week or something.
Yes, like you just started and you wanted to do content and things like that, and so then we set up a meeting for me to go to your office.
That's right. Oh my God, dude, it's all coming back to me.
Yes.
Now. No, so I remember. So it was, and I think this was just my I was used to partying on St. Patty's Day, and at that point in my life, I was married and had 2 kids, and it was St. Patty's Day, and I just moved into my new house, and I was like. I told my wife, I was like, I just need to go out. Like, I'm gonna go to the bar. There's an Irish bar down the street, and I'm gonna go drink. And like, that's literally all. I just went by myself. Like I just wanted to have a time, right?
Yeah.
And I ran into you, and I was like, dude. And the whole reason, one of the biggest reasons I left so I was a loan officer at the bank. So before I was a manager, I went and became a loan officer at the bank, and I was doing it there, and it was fine. But you can only go so far at the bank because they stifle your creativity. I remember I had a buddy who made a video for me, and like it was really well done, and we put it all together, and I was like, I want to post this, and I talked to corporate, and like it took 3 weeks of review time, and at the end of it they're like, no, you can't use that. You can put your name with ours, and that's it. And they were just stifling everything I wanted to do online. I was like, guys, I have to get myself out there, and they were like, no. So that's eventually what caused me to leave. End up at Loan Depot, and then we end up at a St. Patty's Day together. So
yes, but then we had that first initial meeting, and you were hitting me up, asking like, "Hey, I want to do some content."
Right, I wanted
kind of similar to what we do now for you, but it just wasn't finessed yet. But
I didn't have the exact idea back then. Like I knew I needed content, I just didn't know what it needed to look like.
But also, you were showing me examples like a buddy of yours he's really big into he has a big a big company in real estate photography and videography.
Right. Yeah.
And he made you a video, and you showed me this video. I just remember this vividly because I remember watching it going, dude, this is another level. I've never done this before. I had a couple of music videos under my belt that I did myself that were not critiqued. Like I don't know if I actually have no idea if I did it correctly.
Yeah.
And
what is correct with that stuff?
Well, it's an art, so it's everyone's opinion. But like,
exactly,
I have rules in my head.
Sure.
I'm a perfectionist in my head.
Correct, you are.
But watching that, and I was like, dude, I can't do that. And it was really just you leaving your house, getting in your car, going to your office.
Oh yeah,
but it was
promo video.
It was multiple angles, and then it had a voice. You did a voiceover. I was like, dude, I can't do that.
I remember that video.
And
I think that video is still floating around on YouTube.
I honestly, dude, I kept it in my favorites on YouTube
because
I'll watch it every once in a while, and I go, I remember when I said I could never do this.
Yeah.
Like, I run circles around this.
Oh yeah, now it's nothing. Like because I remember it was the story of me announcing that I had left the bank and I was coming to Loan Depot.
Right. Yes.
But it was like I wanted it to be uber dramatic. Like it was like, and it was over the top. It was so ridiculous. Like I was wearing a suit. I rolled up in the Beamer. Take the suit off, like I'm done with this. Like it was so ridiculous, but it's a funny video to look back on, like to see kind of what sparked all of this, right?
Yes.
And now we're just now we're doing shit weekly.
Same thing with me though, like a kickback of seeing it, and like thinking I'm not there yet, and honestly, when was that? Like 2018?
I think so, yeah, because that's when it was 2017, because that's the year I went to Loan Depot.
Okay.
I started in yeah, 'cause I'm coming up on my 5-year mark. So yeah, it was end of 2017. So probably like November or something.
Yeah. Where was I going with that?
I'm not sure. I don't know where you're going with that.
Oh,
your journey.
yes, my journey.
One more time, and I'll believe you.
Well, yes. So I was still working at the store when when I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kept progressing and kept meeting more people.
Mm-hmm.
And
you kept practicing. You kept making new stuff.
And my coworkers that started the fitness company,
yeah,
I met people through them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I met some other people. I met another videographer.
Okay.
Like we went to a gym. They wanted to do photos for their website, and we went to a gym that I got invited to go check out. It's this private gym.
Oh.
The one I was just at, actually.
Nice. You just got done filming for it.
Yes.
You can give them a plug if you want. I'm down.
Well, self-made training facilities, Phoenix and Scottsdale. You need a trainer. They all take. It's no memberships. You just find a trainer that you like, and it works out.
Boom.
And now I lost it.
It's all good. It's all good. So that was the people you had met at the fitness center.
So I was like, this is it's insanely clean. It's really nice setup. It was very photogenic, and I was experimenting with everything. I was like, I'll take photos of whatever you guys want, of anything. So, but I noticed like there's a big thing in the fitness industry. Like people want photos, people want videos. So I went to the owner and I was like, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
Like what are the procedures for me to kind of rent out the place so I can do photos here? And he started talking to me and he goes, have you met our video guy? His name's Michael.
Oh, okay.
And Michael came over to me and we just started talking. He just started asking me questions.
So they already had like an in-house video guy.
He was there. He was interested. He wanted to be part of it.
Okay.
So the owner, Jeff Mahaffey, he is insanely smart when it comes to his business. So when he opened the gym up, it's a franchise, but he owns the rights to the Arizona locations.
Okay.
So Phoenix and Scottsdale are his responsibilities. When he opened them, he goes, my trainers need content to promote, to get clients.
That makes sense.
So he met Michael and was like, hey, do you want to come and be exclusively our video guy and start doing so? Just we don't pay you. We'll give you access to the gym and you promote yourself to the trainers and they'll pay you. Things like that.
So kind of like freelance.
It was insanely
it was
genius.
An opportunity. Yeah.
Yes.
So like it doesn't cost him anything, but it helps the people in his gym promote themselves, which will then in turn bring him more money.
Yes.
That is genius.
And also it helps with him because he is super awesome when it comes to like if he likes you, he's going to help you out. He will support you. He is super loyal. It's very awesome.
I've noticed in business in general, like that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to guys, gals, whatever, people that connect. Like it comes down to, being on the same page together. And that's the type of person you want to work with.
One of the biggest things you can learn, especially when you become self-employed and entrepreneur, you need your circle.
Absolutely.
You got your group of friends that are there to back you up, be honest with you, let you know when what you're doing isn't working, or I can help if like I can boost this, and then and everyone boosts together. Right. It's very much
we support each other and get better together.
Yes. You all grow together 100%. And everything works out. And I did find that ironically through Michael, because
so cool.
that one meeting with Michael.
Yeah.
And then COVID.
Oh my God, right? Talk about time.
And I got furloughed from the store.
Oh, that's right.
I was out for at least a month.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what am I going to do for money?
Yeah,
I sold some of my old gear. I made a little bit of money off that, but then I also lived at home, so it wasn't the biggest deal. Sure. And also I had a good cushion. That's probably the biggest thing that we can swing back to. That is giving yourself a fail safe.
Prepare. Yeah.
Yes.
Prepare yourself. So, and I'll say that too. I did that when I left my salary job. Like I had a decent nest egg built in case I didn't make any money for the next 6 months. That's what I had planned on when I decided to leave. I'm like, I need 6 months of cushion in case I make zero money for the next 6 months. So that in my head, that's what I needed before I left. Yeah. I'm not sure what yours looked like.
Well, I can bring it back up once we talk more about me leaving and going full time, because that's a big that's a big anchor of the reason I went to self-employed. That is a big one. So we can backtrack to that one. But during furlough, so I wasn't working. ironically, Michael hits me up and goes, "Hey man, I need some help filming. Like I need a second shooter. Do you have time?" I go, "Nothing but time."
Right? Yeah, of course.
Perfect
I got time.
timing.
Yeah, perfect time.
And
Okay.
just
Because you're furloughed. Yeah, you're not
yeah,
working.
I'm
So.
not working. I'm basically waiting until they say, "Hey, you want to come back?"
Yeah.
And so I was working with Michael,
Okay.
getting more networking,
Yeah.
just helping him film the people he knew, just talking with him. Like I was with him every single day.
That's awesome.
We'd hang out. Long story short, with that, we became best friends. I ended up moving in with him about a year later.
That's so
we
cool.
got a house in Tempe with our buddy Christian, who was head trainer of Self-Made in the Scottsdale location.
Nice. Okay. So again, more connections. You got your circle.
Yes, I've developed my circle.
Okay.
And as I'm living in Tempe, this is 2021. This is last year.
Yeah, last year.
So was it last year? Yes, it was last year.
Yeah, it is last year.
And I'm really not enjoying my job. Like it's just it's burning me out. It's eating my soul.
Well, because you're doing all the video editing on the back end, on the hours that you're not at the store. Right?
Yes, I am super busy. So
and you cannot wait to clock out so that you can go work on shit you actually like.
There are times I brought my laptop every day to work.
Yeah.
During my lunch break and my 15-minute breaks, I'm editing photos.
I remember that. So I remember we had a few nights where you were coming over and drinking and whatnot. But yeah, I remember you were just like, dude, this is my life right now. Like I wake up, I go to work, I get it done, and then I'm back to editing, shooting. Like I just remember you saying you had zero free time.
Yes, when I had clients and they always asked me, "What's your availability?" I always told, because I worked 5 a.m. to 1:30.
Right.
I said I'm available 2 o'clock on.
Yeah.
So I'm literally. And they go, "All right, let's start at 2 o'clock." So I'm literally, right as I clock out, I'm going to the bathroom, changing into regular clothes, and then leaving to go do a shoot.
And you keep all your gear with you, so you can just go from one.
My gear was always with me. My laptop was always with me. I'm wherever I stopped moving, I was editing something.
Yeah, that's so cool, dude.
It was draining.
Sure,
it was really bad.
I remember how tired you were during that time. You're like, dude, I'm so tired right now.
Yeah, I was exhausted, but it wasn't work. When I was doing that, it didn't feel like work.
Yeah. You were enjoying that part of it. It was the
job
that you were not
liking. Time flew whenever I had a camera in my hand. Time flew.
That's awesome.
It like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just surreal. It was just very relaxing almost, in a sense. Like I'm exhausted, but also I had fun.
Right. You're enjoying what
I was enjoying. I was smiling the whole time.
That's so cool.
Like I remember driving to shoot, just going, I am exhausted. I've been up since almost 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I don't know what to do with myself. I am so exhausted. But the second I saw the client and I needed to be excited and they're expecting me to be creative, I was like, all right, I'm here. Let's do it.
Lots of Red Bull, right?
Yes.
Or Bang Energy or whatever your jam is. So
I was doing at least one a day.
Yeah, I believe it, man. That was wild. So you're starting to get clients. You're getting work. You're hating the actual job because it's just something you're doing in between the things you love.
Yes.
So what's the breaking point?
Breaking point was when I started doing a lot of more stuff with Michael, because Michael was getting a lot of bigger clients that were looking for retainers. So bigger bit. So
I was introducing you to more people.
I was switching from the occasional trainer needing a photo or a video, and the senior photos, the family photos, to these brands needing content for their products.
Right.
And then they're looking for it on a monthly basis. So I'm getting some retainer stuff. I did work with some big names in the fitness industry.
Okay.
And they were willing to pay for it.
Right.
So as we started doing that, I noticed I was just getting more busy, and Michael was asking me like, "Hey, are you available here? Are you available at this time? Are you available at this time?" Like it was just coming in, like the work.
It's a good problem.
I remember it was a Friday. I think it was a Friday.
Okay.
And I look at Michael was across the hall because I live with him, and I just went, "Hey, man, if I were to quit my job, what we make right now with our current clients, can I still pay rent and my bills?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, totally."
Nice.
Yeah. All right, done deal. Done deal. I put in my 2 weeks that Monday.
Good for you, dude. That's what's cool. Like you made a smart, calculated decision. I think a lot of people put too much emotion into it. Sometimes it's like, does this make sense? Yeah, I can pay my bills if I quit because I have enough clients. So fuck it. Let's go.
if I couldn't afford it, I would have stayed. I would have stayed at the store
for sure. Well, I'm glad you made the switch. And like I said, it was good timing for me. Like I know we talked, back, even when I first got to Loan Depot, but I wasn't ready to a point where I was putting out the type of content that I am now.
Yeah.
And so
that happens to
it does. Well,
that's everybody. Like I don't expect.
It's all about timing. Like,
yes.
And it doesn't have to be like right now we do it regularly, which is great. Like we've got a great thing going, but there are people that just maybe want one or two things and, stuff like that. Like what's cool is you know how to fit the mold for whatever it is people are looking for. Like you want something steady, you want a one-off, like
it's all about preparation.
Right.
It's very much mental. That's one thing that I had to learn myself.
Yeah.
I didn't just learn the camera by myself. I'm learning how to read people and how to run a business by myself as well. I took no classes,
which is a whole different skill set.
It is all YouTube videos and podcasts, just learning how to speak to people, getting it out of them. What do they need from me? And then I can relay to them what I can do for them, or kind of what they're looking for, because they don't even know what they want.
A lot of people don't and so I feel like there's two different types of consumers when it comes to people that are looking to buy things or need services. There's people that know exactly what they want, or there's the opposite end of that. They're like, they know they need it, but they have no idea what. And so you have to kind of fix that. And I know you said you weren't into sales, you weren't a sales guy, but that's what sales is. Like sales is about finding a need and fulfilling that need. And you do a really good job of that because you shoot people straight, and there's an authenticity about you that I think a lot of people don't have. Like some people are willing to say whatever the fuck that they need to say to get the deal. You're like, no, this may or may not work, and here's why. Like you're straight up with people, and I think that's why you're successful, because people need to know if it's something that makes sense. They want that. They don't necessarily need the validation. They need to know, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like,
I'm not trying.
You're going to tell them.
I don't want to blow smoke up your ass because I want your money. Like, I want you to come back to me.
Exactly. Yeah. You're in for the long haul.
You
want to do a good job so that they come back.
The smart way to go, especially in my line of work, because there's a chance that you're just a one-off client.
Right.
But the next time you need something, you'll think of me.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of doing that.
100%.
Especially wanting any kind of like retainers, like I do retainers with you.
Right.
You know what I'm going to give you.
Absolutely.
I get and what I offer is my minimum.
Right.
Like I can make this and this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance I'm going to over deliver just because I had an idea and I'm going to put it in there.
And you know that if you do a good job, I'm going to keep coming back and we're going to do more together. Like we started off kind of small, and we're still kind of small, but the game plan is eventually we're going to get bigger and bigger, bring you more business, brings me more business. Like it's just going to keep going. And it's that relationship, right? We're building it.
Working for yourself is a long game.
Absolutely.
It's not instant whatsoever. It took, what did I say? I bought my camera in 2017. I didn't start doing work till about 2019. I didn't start doing it full time till 2021.
Right. Yeah. You're basically a year in. And that was 5 years ago from purchasing the camera. That's something that I think it's important for people to know. So, dude, this was good. This was good information. Like I think there's a lot of people out there that are in similar situations that need help. And I think there's a lot of people that also need that need. Like the videographer, the more that we are in this social media world, this digital world, people realize that if they're in any kind of business, they need to be in front of that audience. And a lot of people just don't know how to make it pretty, and or don't have that vision, and you have that. So like, I gotta just give it one more shout out. Anybody that needs any sort of videography, photos, when it comes to real estate, like you don't even really have like a niche right now. It's just, you do a lot of good things, but if you do have a niche,
I'm kind of narrow. Like I'll let you know. I don't do that anymore.
Right.
I was very much a yes man.
Right.
But as you progress into your business, you will learn
what you're good at.
Yes. What you enjoy
and
as
what you
well.
enjoy.
That's the best thing about working for myself. I can tell you if I don't want to do that.
Right. You're like, this isn't for me. I'm not your guy. Like,
but
so real estate photos. So I'll tell everyone kind of how we do our business, because I think it's kind of cool because it's a little bit unique.
Okay.
Because some people have like the videographer that follows them around, day in, day out. That's a full-time gig.
Yep.
Neither of us have time for that. Like I can't do that. Like we'll do one-off days where we'll shoot some content, but for the most part, I shoot the content just on my camera or even the iPhone.
Yep.
And then I send it to this guy, and he he edits it and makes it awesome. Most of the time, most of the videos that you guys see are just done with my iPhone. Honestly, I just barely bought this camera. It's iPhone, and he magically makes it amazing and shows it really good on YouTube and all the platforms. So if anyone's looking for that sort of thing, Eric's your guy. He'll be happy to have a consultation with you, talk about your goals, and that's really what I like about what you do, man. Like, it's not a one-stop shop. It's like, well, here's what I do. No, it's like, let's talk about your needs. Let's see if we're a good fit. And if it is, let's move forward.
Absolutely.
Because if not, I know you'll be the first guy to tell me, like,
I'm not
your guy.
I'm not here to just give you content because you're asking for content. Like, it needs to work. I need you to enjoy what I did. It gives me anxiety thinking that you didn't like what I did.
Right. And I think we talked a little bit about this at lunch, but there's a fine line between full creative license and you need to have some baseline of an idea, but be able to let that idea grow. Because I think some people have a very specific vision, and if you don't deliver on that specific vision, then they're not happy. But sometimes that vision is just unrealistic or not possible.
You got to think improv. I need a noun and a name.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to put it, man. Like we had an idea and I was like, here's what I want. And then you gave me what you thought that I wanted. And it was kind of back and forth. And then it just works.
Yes, it does. That's the biggest thing too. Whoever's watching this and they're interested in a content guy, a consistent content guy, you are not going to get it right the first time.
No.
I need you to go in there understanding that you might feel like you wasted money on something that he didn't deliver what you were asking for. He or she is not delivering. The content creator cannot read your mind. So we're just doing the best we can, and we can tweak the best we can, but also do not put, this sounds bad, but do not put your heart and soul into the first video.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I stopped doing music videos. Because the artists, sometimes it means so much to them, this song. They want this video to be amazing. But you also they didn't give me a lot to work with. I asked them what kind of video are you thinking? They couldn't really give me an answer.
Right.
Like, well, what if we, and I'm literally go down the list. Well, what if we try this? What if we try this? I don't know. I think that'll work. That might work. I make it. They don't love it.
Right. And that's the thing. If you can't articulate exactly what you need, then you're going to put your creative license on it, which for someone like me, I'm a right brain numbers kind of guy. Like I love math. I'm not a creative. And so I delegate that stuff. And I'm like, okay, here was my basic idea. Here's kind of what I was thinking. But most of the time you end up doing something that I didn't even think of. And I love it more because it's something that I didn't even have the ability to think about, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, and I think that's important just for anyone that's looking to do this sort of thing, like be open to that. Let the artist have their creative license, because you do have a vision and you know what looks good to you. It may not look, you may, like, again, it's all opinion. Someone may not think that it's cool, but you're doing what you think is best.
Yes, I'm doing what I think you asked of me.
Right. Yeah.
Since you can't tell me exactly, I'm going to do the best I can.
But you'll also, what I like about you, like, I remember, like, I put something together and like, I was like, this is what I want. And then you put it together and you're like, dude, I don't really like this. Like, you're like, all right, let's try something else. Like, because you can tell, like, there's a difference between a project that you're just doing what you're told and a project that you're passionate about that you're making yours. And I'd rather have that. Like, I'd rather have you put your passion into it and make it something cool rather than what my initial thought was.
Also, if I work with you, I want to see you succeed.
Absolutely.
I want you to enjoy what I made you.
Right.
Like, that always go back to, I want to make the client happy.
Exactly.
But we got to meet a happy medium at the same time.
Correct.
I always got to put it out. I feel like I always have to put it out there because it gets lost every once in a while.
For sure.
But I do always want to enjoy seeing you enjoy it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like, it makes me happy to see that you were happy with what I did.
No, absolutely. And when I see it, like, I'll, like, I see, like, if I have something cool, like a video that pops up that, catches fire, like we'll tag you in it, or you'll repost it and be like, I did this. Like, it's a proud moment.
That's
like,
also fun. That's also my little promo tactic, because I do content for you to promote.
Yeah.
I don't promote myself at all. I know. My business account has nothing on it.
We'll get you there, man.
My business card has this account on it and it has nothing on it.
Nothing there.
But then if you meet me, I have a QR code that I'll give you. And like, here's my portfolio.
You're too busy creating content for everyone else. You don't have your own up there yet. So, which is okay. That's all good.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, thanks for joining me today, buddy.
Of course, man.
I think this was solid. So anyone that, again, you need video content, photography work, Eric Stahl, what's your handles, contact info.
My Instagram, my personal is EROC_AZ.
Okay.
EROC AZ. My business account is Half Soul Media.
That's right.
All one word. You can also reach me, email halfsoulmedia@gmail.com.
Hell yeah.
Website coming soon, halfsoulmedia.com.
Love it. All right, let's get there. All right, you guys. Well, this was fun. Again, we're signing off,
Yep,
but
another
it's just
time.
a good time, my man.
Thank you, man.